Hi everybody, thanks for joining. This is Crystal Gallard, and today I wanted to create a video for how to create a beautiful space for your wellness center. So that might be a Pilates studio, a holistic style gym, a yoga studio, or maybe you have a wellness center where you perhaps are a chiropractor, an osteopath, or any other allied health professional. So there's something really beautiful that you provide for your clients when you create a really beautiful environment of space through aromatherapy. And I'm just going to highlight a couple of oils which are really beautiful to have in the diffuser for your space. And then I'll get a little bit more specific for those of my Pilates friends and really talked specifically to you and for that environment. So my very first oil that I want to introduce you to for creating a really invigorating space, one where your clients feel safe to feel open, is Citrus Bliss. So Citrus Bliss is our invigorating blend, and within this blend is a beautiful vanilla, and the vanilla smell that comes through is one of those aromas that when people smell it, they almost instantaneously feel really safe. It's kind of like smelling really fresh baked bread when you walk into a home, or a beautiful cake baking in the oven. It sort of generates this similar kind of warmth and real nourishing feeling. So Citrus Bliss is a blend, has mandarin, bergamot, tangerine, lemons, grapefruit, and grapefruit is the oil of honoring one's body. So I think this is really special, particularly in an environment where people are moving their bodies and really coming into a place of peace and acceptance of meeting themselves where they're at physically. So Citrus Bliss, I would pop that in the diffuser and have that going to invigorate your space and also to keep your staff uplifted and really present. Easy Air is the clear blend, and it's a smell that is quite similar to, I don't like to say Vicks, but it's sort of what everyone, or like a Denka rub, people might associate that smell with. But it's got like tea tree and eucalyptus, and when you smell Easy Air, when you walk past the diffuser, you automatically take, a really deep breath. And that's really special, particularly in an environment where people are moving their bodies. And if it is in a really mindful exercise environment where they're really conscious of their breath, then this is super important. When you've got an aroma going, which is actually inviting them to actually be present with their breath, that's really special, because when we drop into a rhythmic breath, we actually access our parasympathetic nervous system. And when we drop into that diaphragmatic breathing, that's the fastest way to access that rest and repair zone of our sympathetic nervous system. And sometimes it can take our clients, up to 15 to 20 minutes to even just be really present with where they're at physically, and to stop and actually take some deep breaths, because they may have been in an unaware state throughout most of the day. So the Easy Air is another favorite that we would have in the diffuser. Like I mentioned, it has eucalyptus in it, and eucalyptus is the oil of wellness. So what a beautiful oil that most people are familiar with. It's a very familiar smell and will mostly bring through some really comforting, cleansing sort of emotions as well. So they're my two favorites for the diffuser, for that sort of creating a space of an environment space. And then a little bit more specifically to our Pilates studio friends, Balance is the grounding blend, and it's one that I've spoken to many of you about as a beautiful blend that you can invite your clients to apply to the soles of their feet before they start their session. So before they pop their socks on and start rolling their feet on a ball, ask them, or even just have an offering of the oil there that they can apply to the soles of their feet. Now, the best way that I have found to actually have this available to keep with hygiene and to save on your oils as well is to make up a blend of your Balance and some fractionated coconut oil. So that's that liquidy coconut oil. And if you buy one of these little droppers, then they can actually just pull it up and pop it in their hands, and then they can apply that to the soles of their feet. And now balance has that precious frankincense in it. And frankincense is one which brings us back into our truth and is really calming and is very grounding. And so the balance oil is really good for relieving nervous tension. And now this may be really important for new clients, clients who are in a fear-based state of moving for whatever reason, injury or an emotional state of being. It may even just be as simple as, suddenly there's a new instructor that they have to adjust to and open up to. So that balance grounding blend will help just to console them a little bit and relieve any nervous tension that they may be beginning their session with. The frankincense and the balance are actually really beautiful to use for yourself as an instructor. So when you're actually coming from a place of presence with your clients, you are able to access a much higher consciousness. And this is probably one of my favorite things about teaching. And it is actually the fastest way that I can actually access a different conscious level. And now when I'm in that place, I'm not actually consciously thinking about the words that I'm choosing or the exercises that I'm choosing. I am able to just access them. And then that wisdom or that information just starts to flow through me and out. And when I'm in that state, my clients have a much more positive movement experience. And I'm personally a lot less drained at the end of my teaching. So the frankincense is one that I personally love to actually just apply over my brow. It's an amplifier for your mind's eye. So you really want to access that intuitive part of yourself when you are working with clients so that you get out of your head and you drop into your heart and you speak and you teach from a place from here. So it goes over the brow and then I place it over my heart and then a little bit on my wrists as well. For those of you who are open to using this internally, it's one which can also be taken underneath the tongue, a drop or so after brushing your teeth morning and night is a good little ritual. So the frankincense is one that is an absolute essential for any allied health professional, somebody that is actually having to come into a place of presence with their clients. I just see frankincense as an essential to actually helping you get there and to access. The very last blend, which is really potent in the Pilates studio, is the relaxation blend, past tense. And it's one that I have had experience of other teachers telling me that they've used on their clients. And the best place to actually use this is on the back of the neck and around that occipital region. So if you had a client presenting with a lot of head tension, this would be a great one to offer them and ask them. You remember, you ask in an open way, are you open to applying some essential oil onto the back of your neck? It's got peppermint in it, which is really cooling and could just cool down some of that hot head tension that you're feeling at the moment. And it's got wintergreen in it. So wintergreen is really powerful for actually releasing that tension that you're holding muscularly in the back of the neck and shoulders. So in the Pilates studio, that's the place that I would recommend as opposed to on the hairline temples. A couple of different reasons, because it is really, really strong. So when it's too close to the eyes, it can actually have this sense of burning. So until they actually had one for themselves and they used it at home, I just feel like this is the most comfortable place for people. So the back of the neck. And then what you might follow that up with is rolling the head on the roller or using the small chi ball underneath the back of the neck and actually doing retractions and just doing some fascial awareness work. Or the other thing that you could do is just to cradle their head and have your fingers resting under their occipital region and just giving them space to actually allow their head to really hang heavy into your hands. And with that, just holding, you'll actually feel that releasing. And then they might go into something like a scapular series on the trapeze. So when you are using the oils in the studio, just be mindful that you want to, like anything, just read your clients and feel into if this is something that they'd be open to, and then ask them. So I don't really whip stuff out and just pop it on them, because there may be a skin sensitivity, there's no doubt about that. So we just want to ask permission first, and then ask if they're allergic to anything. And like any other tool in the Pilates studio, these are really, really powerful. And I want to finish off by sharing that these essential oils have absolutely no fillers, no synthetics, nothing in them that could actually be toxic for the client. So they are way beyond organic, way beyond being 100% pure. doTERRA's essential oils are certified pure, therapeutic grade, and doTERRA give us this promise through their rigorous testing and their sourcing of these essential oils. And I can make another video on that another time. So I hope that was really inspiring for you, and that you feel really empowered to use these essential oils in the studio. And I forgot that you can get a little room spritzer as well. So this is what we used to use to just, when I had a really large studio, to cleanse the space, as well as we'd have some music going and some vibrations going to really cleanse the space when it's feeling quite heavy. So some lemongrass in that is a really good way to cleanse the space, or cleanse your own personal field. So lots of love, and until next time, have a beautiful day.